Hello, Arun here again. Now, in this final lesson, we're going to be talking about growing your firm in a rapidly changing world, particularly discussing the building your team. We've talked about getting clients briefly, albeit briefly, on SEO, marketing, digital marketing, social media. A little touch on in lesson 2, and you've got a little bit of a flavour about my background and how we built a niche practice, or whether you should buy a practice or set up a practice in lesson 1. But this angle now is all about, this lesson's all about growing that team and building that team. So the first thing you have to think about is we want to ultimately automate as much compliance work as possible. We have technology that's available to us now. AI is on us all the time. And the first thing you need to think about is, how can I eliminate as much paper in your practice? In my practice, we refuse to receive any papers by clients. We educate them that if they don't play ball, you're not going to be our client. For us to receive any paper, especially with my team separated by geography, working in different locations across the world, at home and whatever, we don't want any paperwork. In addition, from a compliance point of view, we also get everyone to sign up with our digital engagement system. We use Practice Ignition. And this way, we are always collecting the money in advance of actually any work that we've done. So our debtors are very, very little, actually zero most of the time. So really important to automate that side of things. Once the client signs up, we then have a whole host of activities which triggers our AML processes. So we obtain records from clients to KYC, and then ultimately allocating the work using our digital system as well. There are many systems in play, practice management systems available, but before you do any of that, it's important to understand your workflow and your practice and how it works, because that's so important to have that workflow and understand what works for you in your practice and how your clients interact with your team. So real learning points we've had over the years are, you really want to eliminate the debtor issue, and therefore by using Ignition in our instance, we've kind of eliminated any debtors, and we've got the cash in the bank before we actually do the work. Really, really valuable that's been for us. In addition, you need to choose the right technology and don't change it early, or regularly rather. In the past, I've took on technology and we changed it, and then that meant changing the whole team. And again, it was time consuming and costly. So really important to know that. In addition, you need to make sure that everyone knows their responsibilities, so they carry them out. So it's so important to have a kind of an SOP, the statement of procedures, or standard operating procedures for yourself, for your firm, and keep updating them when the procedures are changing. And then ultimately, we want to train your clients so you get them to do a lot of the work for you, i.e., no paper records, for example. And then, as I said, with that, combining with automation, utilizing workflow automation, say with Practice Ignition with Zapier or Zapier with Xero, you can automate a lot of things, and this ultimately saves you much time. But it has to be set up in the right way. If it's not set up in the right way, then you've got a problem. So that's really important too. In addition, the world has gone AI mad, and if you're not embracing it yet, you should be. There are so many things that AI can help with. Just from even a marketing perspective, we're using AI already in our software with Dext and HubDoc and Xero. We also use it for writing emails, letters, marketing copy, presentations. The fear, I think, amongst lots of people are, will we be actually unemployed in a few years? I don't think so personally. I think AI is just going to advance us even further and make things happen quicker and make us more efficient. But it's important you embrace, learn, try, experiment. And that's what it's all about, experiment. Some things will work for you, some things won't work for you, but I can't stress how important it is to actually experiment. Where we're using it at this moment are video production. We're using it to help write social media posts. We're helping it write blog posts. We're helping it to write newsletters. It's soon enough, AI will be helping us do some of the allocation and postings in Xero or other such software. So it's an exciting time with AI, and it's about just jumping on the juggernaut and learning bits and pieces, and also training your team at the same time. You can't just learn it yourself. You need to share and disseminate this information to the team as well. Some of the tech we use in our firm, mentioned it earlier, we use Practice Ignition, Xero, HubDoc, XPM to manage the practice, TaxCalc, Calendly to book clients in for meetings, Bright Paper payroll, WordPress-based websites, Typeforms to gather information, Zapier to automate processes. Typeforms again are written. Ahrefs to monitor and look at how we can improve our SEO. Brevo to help send mass emails. Buffer for social media posting, ChatGPT, Bard, you name it. The list goes on, as you can see. So these are a whole range of tools that we use, which we find very, very useful and very, very valuable to our business. But it's more important that you don't need lots of tools. You need to have a few bunch of tools and you use them well and you train your team. That's the really important thing, is train your team how to use them. So learning points: invest time in what you need and test each tool out. Some team members will like it, some teams won't. And ultimately, you've got to come to a good decision that works for everybody. Don't make a hasty decision if you need to change something, and really, really kind of train your team properly. Now, I suppose the biggest issue facing accountancy firms currently in the UK, and I think even beyond the UK, is recruitment. I've made the mistake hiring many wrong people over the years, and it's cost me a lot of money. But if you have the wrong people, the business will struggle. The issue is that we just cannot find good quality people. Especially if you're running a small to medium sized accountancy firm, it is just so difficult. It's very difficult to compete on salaries with some of the larger firms. But hopefully the work we provide is a lot more interesting. But still, it's such a competitive market to hire good people. So what are the options? You can keep trying, and maybe you'll get lucky. You can offshore or outsource with a third party, or finally, you can actually set up your own offshore facility for your own firm. Now, we've tried many times to keep building and hiring team members here, and we've had minimal luck. So we knocked that on the head, and we decided to set up our own offshore facility in India. Now, as I always say, if you keep doing the same thing, you get the same results. And that's what the mistake we made with keep on hiring here in the UK, and we were getting very, very poor results. So we did change. And originally, we were using third-party providers to help us with our outsourcing, but we felt, you know what, they were good, but we could do it a lot better. So we've now set up our fully owned 100% operation in India. Our UK company owns the entity in India, and we're building that team. And we have enough experience in our team to be able to support that team. The people we're hiring in India are really, really good, and we're mapping out the processes and really operating in two countries now, where the team in India are not only supporting my existing Samera business, but helping other clients as well. So what are the options for building your own offshore team? Well, one option is to actually work with us. We can provide a third-party provider service to you, where you may hire 1 or 2 team members to support you to do year-end accounts or bookkeeping or payroll, whatever it might be, and they're sitting in our offices or based on our servers in India, but you're using them for your needs, and we take care of all the HR and all the legal issues and tax issues that come with that. Or the other option is you set up your own facility, which has other issues because you need to deal with Indian tax laws and Indian operational laws and Indian employment laws, but they both work splendidly. And the real benefit here, the real thing is you get great people with a great attitude, with a willingness to learn. And they're young, driven and capable and very, very hungry to learn and get better and ultimately improve. So they've got young, smart minds and they're keen to develop and grow. And that's how we're building our firm, by hiring quality people offshore. In hindsight, I wish I'd started my facility long ago, not waited for so long and not use other third parties. I should have just set it up myself. Really important to have strong systems and have these documented in place. This way you can when you add new team members, they can be trained very, very, very quickly. And ultimately it's a team, it's a global team. It's not just a them and us, it's a global team. Therefore, the global team, it means it's global. You support them, they support you. They are your team. The key is ultimately to look after them, whether they're sitting in Lincoln or whether they're sitting in London, okay, or whether they're sitting in Mumbai or wherever they are in India. So it's so important to have a team and look after the team wherever they are, because they are the future of your firm. And then in my instance, I own the business. I treat everybody as I'd like to be treated. So hopefully, and I'd like to think, we've built a really good family culture. This is some of my London-based team. treat your team like your close family, care about them, support them. And if they have issues in life, they have family issues in life, they have problems in life, just like anybody else, like you and I do. And if you're there to support them in the tough times, they'll always be there to support you in your business as well. In addition, be willing to go the extra mile to help them all. This goes for your team member sitting in India or your team member sitting in the UK. And as the cliche says, there is no I in team. You're nothing without them. So it's so important that every team member feels that they're contributing, but you're also helping them support their goals and objectives too, as well. And bottom line, kindness goes a hell of a long way in my book, okay, to each other, vice versa. Key points: if you've got prima donnas, if you've got people dragging the morale of the team down, I would actually move them on relatively swiftly. Build a culture of fun, inclusivity, and diversity. Always put people first. That's the key thing. If you put the people first, i.e. your team, the profits will always come anyway. Because with the right people, the profits come anyway. And ultimately, lead from the front and encourage your team to build their experience and knowledge. If you help them achieve their goals, they will help you achieve yours as well. And then on top of that, once you've got the team and let's say the offshoring and is working well, the opportunity then is for your local UK team is to, or US team, or wherever the kind of team you're based is to sell other high margin services, especially if you're in a niche. So in my instance with Samera, if you've got your compliance work being handled by your offshoring team and they're dealing with the clients, they're dealing with a local manager here in the UK, there are other things we can sell. We can sell commercial finance. We can sell where we help people raise finance to buy assets or buy other businesses. We also operate a brokerage where people are buying and selling the dental practices. We provide that service. We also run a buying group where we've negotiated really, really good deals with practice companies to offer discounts to our members of our buying group. Now, commercial finance, for example, is transactional. It's not a recurring income, which accountancy is, which certainly has its attractions, but it's high margin. And it brings in now probably a similar amount of income to the compliance work on a regular basis, because we've got to be well known on the commercial finance side of things. So it's important to have both sides of the coin. Don't put all your eggs in one basket for accountancy. There's other things that you can add to your bow. And in our instance, it was commercial finance. You might decide to offer digital marketing services as an example, or specialist tax services as well. So there's a whole range of things you can, which are certainly higher margin. And ultimately, to be able to sell those things, the money is in the relationship. So if you dig deeper and sell more, you'll make an even more profitable climate for yourself. You don't need hundreds or thousands of clients. You just need clients willing to purchase more of what you offer. Remember the quality clients I was talking about earlier. And if you understand the problems of your niche, and that's why I said if you have a niche, you'll understand their problems much, much better. You can then say, right, what's the problem with these problems these clients have? How can we do it better? And therefore, by offering a small offering, like we did with finance, we started off with finance as small. Now we've got a bigger team and we're offering financing to those clients as well. So that's grown really, really well as an example. In addition, when it comes to pricing your services, the fools, they say, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, and that's so true. So don't be fooled to thinking pricing low and then raising fees later is a good idea. It isn't. Price what you think it's worth to the client. Value yourself. What are you worth? Don't offer discounts. Know your worth. Work out your overheads and ultimately add a suitable margin and apply this to your business so you ensure each client is profitable. Make sure you're always charging the right amount to be able to support clients for such situations. Important, I kind of mentioned it previously, you don't really want clients who are nitpicking over the fees. They're not the clients you want. If you don't want them, keep raising the fees until they leave. And if they're unhappy, until you're happy with what they are paying, raise the fees at least annually. And we use Ignition to be able to do that annually to raise the fees. And then they just enter their credit card details once and start collecting their payments. Genius. So I do think opportunity is now here. And it's a real opportunity to help you with your business. I think with technology, with the team, with good marketing, and with offshoring, the opportunity is to grow your firm really, really well and be really successful. So in summary, look at the pros and cons carefully of whether you're buying or setting up your practice. if you think it's right for you, and I do think it's a good idea, build a niche practice and automate your compliance work. In addition, cross-sell high margin services too. If you can, price your services profitably. Of course, build a digital marketing system which works on autopilot, embrace AI, choose the right tech, and of course, offshore the compliance work so you can focus on high margin activities. And fundamentally, build a family culture and become the leader you were meant to be. Now, if you need any help, you know where we are. Get in touch. We'd be delighted to help you. Thank you. You can contact me on Arun@samera.co.uk, and we can help on a whole range of things here. And check out some of our other courses as well on the platform as well. But most importantly, join our free newsletter here at newsletter.sameraglobal.com. Thanks very much.